Hi.
Well, we just popped right in there, huh?
You know what I find hilarious? Like the first episode is me and C, the next episode is me and Vic, and now the trio's back for episode 3. Like, come on, that was great.
We've all returned to the
We're
island.
number 3.
Facts.
Mhm.
Facts. Now we're all back together. All right. So welcome everyone to another edition of Unpopular Reviews. And today we're clearly reviewing episode 3 of Squid Game.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Very interesting episode. Very interesting, especially after the first two. I mean, well, after one, with all of that, pow, you
Uh-huh.
know, and then everybody goes home, and now everybody's back, and now
Wait,
what
Vic,
is this craziness?
Vic, when you say go home, do you mean they go home or do they go home? Like, there's two different ways of saying this because there was two different ways on how people went home here.
Oh.
What?
Went home to their maker or
Wait,
went home to
everyone
their
go home to
family?
the ancestors.
Well, facts for real, because I mean, wow, so many people got popped off. That was just crazy. I mean, but I think that's the main thing that brought everybody in through from the first episode, because it's just like, what kind of red light, green light is this?
I
You
know.
know what I mean? like what?
Years. I don't remember this.
You know what I mean? And
Controversy?
then, and it's funny too because now I don't even mind reading the subtitles. I really don't. I really don't. I
Wait,
don't mind it
you're
at
not
all.
reading, you're not looking at the dub version?
No, I'm looking at the subtitled version.
Oh, wow. How very anime of you. I'm not that advanced. I prefer dub over sub any day, but here we are.
But let's talk.
Okay. I mean, it don't matter to me. It's just like, that the last episode, people were like, oh my God, you're doing yourself such a disservice by watching the
Dub.
English dubbed version. And I mean, me personally, I'm just like, whatever. You know what I mean? But still, at the end of the day, as long as I can understand what's going on, I'm good. But yeah, those as far as the last two episodes, those are the ones that I've been watching. The stuff, but like I was saying before, I'm so into it that I don't really mind.
Well, with that being said, let's dive into the third episode. So, again, episode 2 is when they all kind of went home and they realized, look, we really need this money, so we gonna head back. And they wait out on the street. They get in the van, and the gas comes out. All of them fall asleep except for old girl. She's streetwise. She's they can't
Black
catch her.
Widow, baby.
Yes, so
Black
she's
Widow.
secretly awake the whole time. So as they're carting them away, right, to this unknown location, we also have a little stowaway rat as well. We got Daddy number 2. We were talking about him before we aired. We already know who Zaddy number 1. There can only be one Zaddy per show. So Zaddy number 1 has already got the title from the
Look
first 2 episodes.
at Vic's face right about now. He just go laughing like.
No, pero ¿quién es Zaddy? ¿Y quién es
But
Zaddy?
listen. Okay, there is a second daddy who was discovered in episode 2, the police officer, but there can't be 2 daddies, so he has to be the stepdaddy of the show. He's a stepdaddy.
She's given all these nicknames and whatnot, but we're talking about the cop. But that is Solid Snake, baby. We gotta get to him because he had a hell of an intro. I mean, we were talking about a little bit of episode 2 and how he's following the cars and everything. He's going, like you said, this unknown location. And I really like this. Can you see these guys they're taking all these passed out passengers out the car, and he sneaks on. He sneaks underneath the car. They drive. He sneaks into the car where all the unconscious passengers are. And when the guy is trying to check his temperature, I guess to make sure, I don't know if he was checking, because with the whole thing with COVID and everything, maybe he was checking to see something. But as he kept doing that, then he realized, oh, shoot, he's not a part of this game. And when he went to go stab him, this man said, just the strength of 50 men grabbed him and did some Solid Snake, well, I won't curse, but some Solid Snake stuff, put him with the headlock.
Yes, he's got some moves.
I love him right there. And I'm not going to call him daddy, but I said, good job.
Daddy.
She's awful. You're sorting too much.
I mean, you gotta. I mean, unfortunately, there's not Mandy Rose. Shout out to the NXT Women's Champion. But there's not a Mandy Rose in the show. So you know, we gotta let her have it. Just let her have her. You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, there isn't much to enjoy so far.
But we're gonna get to her later.
I mean, if you into olive oil, I got you. But that's all right. That's all right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
So, stepdaddy, aka the cop, he sneaks his way onto this to the location, and we're left wondering where this place is because they go over the river through the woods, literally, right?
Yeah.
They end up on like this island somewhere, and after stepdaddy, after he took out the PlayStation Master, right, and disguised himself as one of the members, he kind of infiltrated the whole thing, and we get to see for the first time a kind of like a backstage look at what the hell is going on if you're not a contestant on this weird little game show they got going on. So it's like they have like this almost communism, like, I don't know, retreat where like the workers, they're treated like ass too. It's like, it's not just the people playing the games, it's the people working there. They're like, hey, don't speak unless you're talk to. Hey, when you get in the room, that's the only time you can take off your mask.
There's levels to this because apparently the square was the master, right? I think it was the square was the master. And like, if you was the old triangle, you was like below them or something like that. Apparently there was a superiority in the shapes. Like you had to be this shape to be this level.
Yeah. There's like a certain hierarchy with the shapes. Oh, okay.
So, he sneaks in, and also, our little streetwise friend, she sneaks in a little weapon right there. They take all of the contestants, I'll call them, and they're still passed out from the knockout gas. They strip them down and change them into their little green suits, right? And whole time, old girl's awake. She's got the pocket knife. She's slipping in pockets like she's like a street rat, like Aladdin or some shit. So,
she's Aladdin's sister.
She's Aladdin's sister.
Yeah.
And they are none the wiser. Who is blowing somebody up?
Who's doing that?
I'm not. Well, no.
I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know. Yeah.
So after that, right, they're all like surprised. All our contestants wake up. They're surprised kind of to see each other, like, hey, you came back, you voted for us to leave, but here we are again.
This kind of bothered me though, because it's like, oh, look, let's play this game, and if we lose, don't worry, it's not we just get sent home. We get sent home. And then you guys celebrate, like, hey, man, look, the main guy, right? Because I'm not going to try to pronounce this man's name because I'm not trying to butcher it. But this guy's going to, he's like, hey, I didn't think you would come back. The old man, I don't want to be mean, but the old man's already counting down the days.
Number one. That's his name.
Agent number one, he's already counting down the days. He don't care. He's just like.
You know what, though? I love his spirit.
Yes,
I do. I want to. You know what? When I see that old man, I'm just like, goals, me. I look at him and I'm just like, I'm 82 and I ain't through, baby. Straight up. I love it.
Good. That was great.
And in fact, I think the actor, he said he's been getting so many roles that he has to turn a whole bunch down. The guy who plays number one. Yeah. So that's really nice to see. He's up in his golden years and he's still out here working, getting it done. So he's definitely a fan favorite.
Oh, I love it. He's the Asian Betty White, no doubt.
Facts.
No doubt.
There you go. But no one's better than Betty, though. I just wanted to say that.
He's out here working still.
Yeah.
But so when we get the whole crew, we got number one, we got dude who's Agent number one. We got Golden Boy from the city. I forget his name with the glasses. We got the Indian dude, and they all.
Yeah. No, it's Song Woo. I think it's Song Woo.
Song Woo. They all get together and say, hey, we got to form a group here. We're back. We need to have a team. We don't know what's going to happen. And they form this group, which consists of, again, the Indian guy, the grown man with the kid who acts like a kid.
That's the strongest Ali.
The Golden Boy and number one. They're all in a group together. So also, I think this is when our bad guy, what was his name? The hefty.
Cockface.
Cockface.
Because I don't know what
That's
that
the
is
English translation.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. I don't know what that is on his face, but every time I see him, I say, "Oh, look, here comes bad cockface."
Look,
It's
if
a
we can't
snake,
pronounce these names,
man.
we got to come on images because we got to pull up these
It's
faces.
a snake. It's a snake. It's a snake. Just call him Snake Face or something. Like he's
Snake.
hilarious.
We got our guy Snake. He come in and he's looking at our girl Street Rat like, hey, you know, causing beef with her, and she's ready because you know she's a warrior. She had dude in the last episode about to cut his neck. She ain't worried about Snake like that. No. But the whole group kind of comes at her, right? And that's when we get possibly the mommy of the show. I know we got two daddies. We can possibly get a mommy up in here.
You're being very nice. That's someone's grandmother. That is someone's grandmother who don't realize that she's an older woman because the stuff that was going on in this episode, I just didn't get. But she was a character, though. I really she really stood out a lot.
She did. She did. I give you that. I give you that. But she definitely ain't no mommy. But still, like, you know what I mean?
Like 30 years ago.
I'll tell you one thing. I would hire her right away. You know what I mean? Because she got mic skills. Like that lady could talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she said she's good at everything. What she say? She's great at everything except for the things she's not good at or something.
I said, okay, I see you, Grandma.
Mm-hmm.
She's out here. So she essentially like saved our friend Street Rat. Like she's like, hey, you know, she distracted these men with her, you know, womanly wows enough so that you know they were distracted. They were distracted away from Street Rat. So later in the episode, we get into our first game, right? So we are they kind of split everyone into lines and they say, hey, you either get a freaking circle, a triangle, a star, or an umbrella. So our crew who separated, you know, they've kind of came together in a group. They said, okay, everyone pick one, right? And our good friend with the glasses, he's like, you know, I'll take triangle, right? Yeah. And what's his name? Manchild. He said, you know what? There's only two left because Indian dude, he picked star.
Longest Ali.
Yeah, he picked circle. Sorry, the Indian dude picked circle. Then it's only number one, agent number one, and our Manchild friend. And so he lets agent number one pick star, and he goes for umbrella because he said he's always losing his umbrella as a kid. Even in the last episode, remember he was walking in the rain because he forgot his umbrella.
Yeah.
So he goes with that one, right? And they announce the games. And this is a game that I'm unfamiliar with. I guess it's something that they do in Korea.
That's something. Yeah. I looked that up a little bit too because I was just curious. But that's something that goes on over there. That's something we wouldn't be familiar with at all.
So essentially, it's like this little sugar cookie, right?
Yes. Yep.
And in the sugar cookie, it's stamped the shape.
Yes.
Correct. So, I forgot to mention earlier that our friend Street Rat, she found a way to sneak through the vents and got to take a little sneak peek behind the scenes and saw that they were cooking up sugar.
But she didn't tell what it was. But I thought that scene was actually really funny. If I could just talk a second about it, because it was funny, the thing with her and Grandma, because, you know, Grandma was acting like she had to, well, not acting, she had to go to the bathroom, but she really was out there just to have a smoke. And that's where, like you said, we see our friend Street Rat goes up, sees what's going on. But it's so funny here because when she's sitting there saying when she climbs up the go up to the radiator or whatever, you know, she's sitting there with the cigarette saying, come on, yeah, go ahead, check it out, look at it. And that's when she can't put two and two together because she's like, I smell sugar, but I don't know what it is. But tells homeboy, you know, Glasses, like, hey, look, man, you know, he's asking, he overheard them talking and said, what did you see? And this is the part that made you start to realize he's really in for himself. Even though he was like, let's be a team, he was in for himself because he knew he was able to put two and two together that, we're doing this game. He was able to visualize like, this is the game we're going to play. And instead of sticking with everyone saying, let's be a team and pick the easiest shape, he pretty much left him out for, for dead.
He definitely picked the easiest shape for sure, right? And even when they showed the scene of her, like her sneaking in the contraband or how she snuck in the contraband, I was like, oh, this is a nasty hole here. Like,
that was disgusting.
It was gross.
That was just nasty.
She really met a rat.
Yes, I'm like,
they
was she
didn't
in the
have to
pen
show
before?
that.
Was she a convict? That's how she knows how to do this? Because who would
No,
even think to do that? Like, yeah, I'm going back. So let me, stick this up my what so I can get it later. Gross.
Oh, you talking about grandma? Yeah, no, she's disgusting.
Yeah, she's nasty, man.
Yeah, she's a nasty.
I mean, no, but that's a fiend. Like, you really can't be without a smoke that hard.
You're gonna
Like,
stick it up there.
You're gonna go that hard. Like, come on now. Like, that's a fiend. Like, that's crazy.
So yeah, so again, we are our man-child friend, he picks the umbrella, the games are announced, and apparently they're given a cookie, a sugar cookie, right? Real thin, not the sugar cookies we have here. This is like a little thin wafer looking giant. And they have to carve out the shape that they selected with a little like needle, like thread and needle, a little pin or thing, and without breaking the shape. So if you pick a triangle, you like almost set to be good. Like you're just 1, 2, 3, you're out of there, right? But if you pick a freaking umbrella,
Ella, I'm sorry.
Right, you're out of there. It's like, what can you do? So we see them, they're stressing out, they're under the clock, they're like, trying to get things, together. And we see that someone breaks their shape, and you're like, oh crap, because we already know what's about to happen from the first episode.
You hear it. So you hear the.
It's like your heart sinks, because the game masters, they have no mercy. As soon as they break, popping them out. They were dropping left and right. And our girl, grandma, she had a plan. She snuck in her lighter because she's an addict. She needs a cigarette. She got a lighter, and she's heating up the pin so she can ease her way out of there and get it. She gets out because her shape is complete.
And she too.
Yeah, she ate the cookie because she's a boss. She's like, look. And instead of just going on about her business, she said, ooh, Snake, let me help you out. Let me drop you a little. She did one of these.
She did. She just said that and said.
Right. And helped him out, because there was no way he would have finished without that lighter. Like, she really gave him like the assist. And what's it called? All the players are, they're stressing out about it. They're like, what the frick? Our guy,
yes,
stepdaddy, he's there, and he's all over the place because he doesn't know like what he's supposed to do, because again, he's infiltrating. So they're like, hey, number 29, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be, picking up the dead bodies or something. He's supposed to do something else. You're right. He was
supposed to pick up the bodies. And then he said some over the lines of like, we'll talk after this event is over. We're going to get to the end on out, because this guy is so smart. Is very smart. But yeah, no, everyone was just such under pressure, like you said. And you can see how everyone was under pressure. Let's get to main guy, because he was sweating so hard. And he's also very smart. As much as we make the jokes like, he's a man child, because I'm a man child. So it's like, how dare I talk about people, right? But this guy, he's sweating. But he starts to use his brain. That's what happens. Like, I remember myself in high school when I was underneath pressure. I didn't succeed, but, as my brain started to work a little bit. And this guy's brain starts to roll a little bit. He's like, wait a minute. And that's when he sees the outline of the cookie on the other side. It looked kind of gross because it's a cookie. So I see him sweating on the cookie. I'm like, how are you going to sweat on a cookie? But I get it. Life is on the line. So, because like you said, every time the cookie broke, I wanted to mention this. One guy was on a slide, and when he got shot, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to make this joke right here. He had his last slide.
Yeah. No.
He laughed at it. There we go.
I don't know what that one. Come on,
what is it? Last slide. He laughed. But yeah, everyone's underneath pressure. Dude started to realize like
his last ride was the last slide.
His last ride for his last ride, the last slide. And when he's supposed to do the thing, and it's amazing, because when he starts to do that, everyone starts to take like, start looking like, yo, what? That? And then everyone start looking in the back of the cookie, realizing that it makes it much easier. And they were able to get the outline of he just beat it, honestly. Just beat it. I think he had like 5 seconds left to go and was able to get his shape out. him and because everyone else, I mean, let's get to the main people here. Him and Cockface were able to succeed with their shape, and then they were able to get out. I know you guys are calling him Snake. I call the other guy Solid Snake. That's Cockface. So
God.
But that might be the next hashtag next time. That might come off very bad. No, but yeah, they're able to get out, and unfortunately for the remainders who their shape either broke or didn't do anything, and it's so like this part, like, right? So they'll be like, you see everyone covering because they already know they're screwed, right? They're effed, and you hear the guys move your hand, and you see the guys move their hands. Wait, I'm sorry, pow. I mean, just pals all over the place, but one guy
didn't even hear him.
Huh?
No, didn't even listen to him or nothing. Just
no, just so cold. It's just, and I don't want to get to a part two, just because. So this part where they're starting to shoot everyone. One guy though, he said, "Wait, I'm sorry." He wasn't sorry. He started blasting some of these. He said, "I don't care what shape you are." Pow, pow. He shot like two of them, and he had one hostage.
He was desperate at that point because he was about to die, and he said, "Look, I'm about to, it's fight or flight at that point." So he does fight.
Yes,
good for him.
He does go out fighting. He has one of them. I think it was like a circle. I'm sorry, it's so hard to keep up with these shapes, but he has one, and he's holding him hostage. Now the other shapes are shooting everybody else that was there because I guess they realized, well, we're kind of be outnumbered if these guys are still alive, so they should start blasting them out. And that's when that real headmaster, the one with the black mask, we're gonna call him Black Mask until we get the names right here, ladies and gentlemen. But Black Mask, he says he's had enough. He says, okay. Now he walks on the field. Oh, he's making his way to the field. And the desperate dude who got one of the shapes, he sits here and says, unmask. And, something that you were saying, Vic, how cold they are, right? When he unmasked, he looked very emotionless. Like, he looked like, did anyone else peep that?
And young, like, well, he looked like 19 or something.
He was a young lad. That's why he even said, you're just a kid. Mm-hmm. And that's when he just takes his life because he realized he was in a lose situation. He was not getting out of that any kind of way.
And then he goes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, then he goes and says, like, once they know who you are, you're dead. Which was key to me because it's just like that just added another layer to the whole thing to me right there. Like it's just like, oh wow, even the people that work in there, you know what I mean? If they reveal any secrets, if anybody knows who you are, bomb, that's it, you're going.
Yeah, you're a slave to it.
That is very Tobias Whale of them. You know what I mean?
Cheap plug, like, you can see it.
Like, it's very like no loose ends. You feel me? Like it's like wow, okay.
So yeah, it was really interesting. I went ahead and uploaded some images for us. Not everyone, but so we can pull up these facts. Mm-hmm. So this is Stepdaddy, everyone.
That's Solid Snake.
we got Man Child.
I like that one. I'll stick with that.
And we got our guy over here, Snake Face. We got Street Rat, and we got our Indian friend. So
the strongest Ali. I'm going to get that over.
Strongest Ali. Okay,
strongest Ali. I like that.
So yeah, it was a very interesting episode. We did get to see after the young boys or the game master after he revealed himself. Right, he was taken out, by his own crew, and. We got the stepdaddy. He's thinking on his feet. He's like, he already know what's about to happen to him because he was like, look, 29, stay after the games. I got to talk to you, right? He's like, okay, I'm done. Uh-huh. So what he did was he switched masks with our young friend who passed away. And he had like a little square mask, I think it was. He had like another shape on his mask. So he switches masks with him and was able to avoid pretty much his death, which is what I would assume was his death, right?
Yeah.
So he's really smart. Like he's making his way through this whole thing. And after the games, right, after everyone was passed, all of everybody in our team is passed. Our main guy, Man Child, he looks at our friend with the glasses, kind of funny. He's like, hold on, how do you know to pick the easiest shape, right? And he was like, he had like a little flash of question in his brain, but then he kind of shook it off. So we're left to wonder, kind of, is Glasses sneaky like that? Is he a snake? Is he the real snake of the show? Like, does he know what's going on? Like the doctor? Like, what's going on here? You know,
Well,
it
the doctor's
seems a little
something
funny.
to pay attention to too, because real quick, he knew about it because he had it in his little
Somebody
breakfast.
slipping him
Yeah,
clues about
and
what the
then
games are.
and now there's telling to go left, meaning like they separated him from the pack. So you're wondering what's happening here.
Mhm.
So many questions.
I mean, what use do they have for the doctor?
Facts.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
who knows?
So that was the episode pretty much. So if you enjoyed the episode and you'd like to hear us talk about it, don't forget to leave us a like. And we brought this to you on a very special day, on a Wednesday, when we usually do it on a Saturday. But you know, it's Halloween. We wanted to bring it to you early.
Yeah.
So don't forget to join us next Saturday for the 4th episode of Squid Game, so we can talk about it and, you know, give you our theories, because I have yet to mention my daddy theory. But I'll bring it up the next episode. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Not stepdaddy.
So please tune in next week so we could talk more Squid Games and more Zaddy. So
what's the next show? I hope the next show has like really, really revealing clothing and a lot of chest.
What are you talking about? You got grandma this episode. Hot girl grandma. We got him in light black lightning. We got him.
Listen, man. Listen. No, listen. Hot girl grandma from Black Lightning is 10 times. Anyway, let me shut up. Good night, y'all. Good night, y'all. Before I get canceled. Good night. I get canceled for my toxic masculinity. Good night, y'all. All right.
I like to always say good night, child. Good night, child.
I said good night, y'all.